so this is like one of the development opportunities that we've been talking about. This is Lily Bridge. Jim, what did you tell them about Lily Bridge? Anything?
We haven't discussed Lily Bridge. We discussed Grand and Edmond, but
okay.
You can show them a little bit about Lily Bridge. Yeah, it's the same concept.
And it's about a quarter of a mile to a half a mile from $1 million homes in Grosse Pointe. And so it's in an area that's been targeted and slated by John Hance. If you have a chance to look at Hance Farms was a ploy to not pay property taxes to the city. So the mayor's mad because he buys these properties from private individuals and from banks. And then what he does is he tears all the houses down because he's ready to build, really the goal is build $1 million homes. But they got to come out and seem like they're somewhat for the people. But in reality, greed rules the day with all this stuff, unfortunately. And if you are able to acquire a property like this, you'd be right in the middle of the hot spot. And it's a good likelihood they'd make you an offer shortly after you acquire it, because I don't know if there was a sign out here. I think there'd be different discussions going on. It's really very interesting. We're at an interesting time where this property, under normal circumstances, wouldn't just be sitting there because they'd be coming for it. They just don't know that it's available. But you put a sign out, that would change the dynamics here. All right, so this is the property. It's a former Catholic Church convent a rectory where the nuns lived, and it's a really nice sized property where we could probably add another 2,000 square feet just from the lower level and the third floor. So what's computed is just the first floor and the second floor, but it's all livable square footage. On the side of the place, if you look, you see that sloping walkway, like a ramp on the side of the building? Yes. That's the south side of the building, Brandon. Where that is right now is a wheelchair, handicap accessible kind of access. We're going to get rid of all of that, but we're going to replace it. Because we're going to change the design of the property to flow, because the idea is to convert this into condos. All right? So we think we can get a maximum probably 7 to 8 in there. My recommendation, do 5 luxury and raise the prices. And so you'll be spending a lot less on materials and making more money. But you can do more units, but you won't be able to say, hey, this is what we're giving you. And when you take those things away, I'm sure people will say, okay, that's cool. But the idea is you want to give people more and not less, but charge them for what they're getting. All right, so just imagine this with a new roof, new beautiful windows. We take the side where the basement is, and we actually dig down and build a staircase system to come out of the lower level, so that there will be a door there, and there will be like a little patio deck area at different levels of the staircase system. And so basically it becomes an entertainment area for the lower level, but the lower level actually is in part the first floor as well, because you have staircases from the interior that go down to the lower level, which was non-livable space. But we're going to recompute the square footage of the space, because we're going to make this livable space, and it'll be part of the computable square footage of each of those condos, which is thus increasing your value. And the value is profit for you, because that's what you're going to be able to charge for.
Well, there's also 5 lots associated with this. So, I mean, you can do what you want with the other lots also.
Did you hear that, Brandon?
You said 5 lots?
There's 5 lots that come with this property. And those 5 lots mean you can build more units. We can add on. We can build a workout center, swimming pool, whatever you want to do. If you see I walked the perimeter and the interior of the property, and that fence, you see that wrought iron fence?
Yes.
Okay. Somebody hit it right at the entrance, and it isn't even damaged. It just needs to be bent back into form. So what we would do is just literally bend this back into form, get some TIG welding done, grind it down, and then paint the fence all at one time. And so it would cost more to replace this, but to remove remove the fence than it would be to fix it, but to replace it would cost you $25,000-$30,000. So it'd be no point in getting rid of it. That's already there, and that's just a bonus. Those trees you see up near the front, we cut those down and clear it away, and then we do some really nice landscaping to augment things. And we'll talk a little bit more about this stuff. Jim will get with you on all the details outside of that, but I'm a licensed general contractor, and whatever your creativity is, whatever, I pull my own permits, I have my own equipment, I got about $1 million worth of equipment. There's nothing we can't do. I can build you a hotel. So really, and we're affordable. So we're going to work with you on prices to help you to get things done. One of the features, like skylights, is something that really drives people crazy. Each skylight we literally can put in for like $500-$600. Yep, I know that. So we have a lot of stuff that we can do. Use whoever you please. But the more I've been thinking about this, the more excited I am. By the way, I have an account with an Atlanta-based company. It's called Flora Decor. Do you know them?
Yes, very well.
Yeah, the CEO was just here in Detroit the other day. So, and we were all chopping it up, talking about some project stuff that we got that's going to be initiatives we're working towards in 2023. And they've been working with us. We do, I'll show you a little more, some of the stuff here. When you have a unit above a unit, one of the things is you got to be careful with the bathroom areas and the kitchen, areas where there's plumbing, and the plumbing comes out of a fixture. Let's just say, i.e. a laundry center, and let's say we have 10 units in a building, and 5 units are stacked on top of other 5 units. One thing you want to make sure you do is you want to do noise or sound attenuation so that the sound doesn't transmit to the unit below or above. The next thing is you want to do waterproofing. So we put what we call linear drains in. And these linear drains will go in the kitchen. We put down tile. You can turn the water around and just let it flow on the kitchen floor. We waterproof the kitchen, and we waterproof the bathrooms, and we waterproof the laundry center. So it's a pretty interesting thing, and we just do this as part of what we do, but it also gives you an excuse to do a demonstration when it's sales time, why they want to live here, because nobody's doing this but us. And we've been doing it now for about 15. They rather have this all on the second floor where the sleeping, where the bedrooms are. And it just makes it a lot easier. And they're ready to pay for its convenience, but we can build this into whatever we do. We just gotta put our minds together. The skylights make them spend way more money than what they actually meant to pay. You put those other things in. We buy cabinets on an aggregate basis to bring the cost down. And so you just want those modern touches. You want the island sink. You want the built-in, the low-profile version of that. And, you can just sit on regular chairs. You don't have to be on bar stools. It doesn't sit up too high. So it's a really interesting sort of plan. But, we can talk about design and all that stuff. But it's just to kind of give you some ideas of how I like to approach things. Because, by the way, those $1 million houses that I showed you at City Modern and the other ones being sold around the city, the average age is between 28 and 32. Brandon, how old are you, Brandon? You in your late 30s?
40s, 45.
45, okay.
And I'm not telling.
Drink a lot of water. Or a lot of water. Huh?
Oh, yeah, a lot of water.
A lot of water, good. All right. And catch a lot of fish. All right, good. So, when I was in my 30s, I was just thinking how many people in their 30s would be able to just buy $1 million place. And they're in line and they're fighting over this stuff. So this just tells you the future. You've got to be designing and building towards who that demographic is. These are kids that haven't necessarily finished college, but a lot of them have. And they all have the same ideas about what they're interested in, but they don't want stuff looking too traditional. It just turns them off. The problem with all these builders is that they're out of touch with who's actually purchasing. Just like with Hollywood, the average studio head is in their late 80s, early 90s. They're out of touch with what's happening with the youth, yet the film goers are between 15 and 25. And so they're making decisions, and they'll put $200-300 million into a period nobody gives a damn about, but then they'll make some, let's say, a hood film for 200,000 that ends up making 200 million. You see how it doesn't make any sense? Like they're putting all the resources in the wrong place. I want you to think about that for this, because that's who you're going to be. You're not producing this for an empty nester. You're going to be producing this for somebody coming back from college. All right, so here's what a typical laundry center would look like. You've seen them before. This is popular in Atlanta, but what happens is we got a lot of older buildings here in Detroit. You guys, a lot of development has happened within the last 25 years. The house we're talking about 100 years old. You know what I mean? So when you're building new stuff or you're retrofitting, you want to bring us into the AM and kind of get rid of some of the functional obsolescence and kind of give them new features. But a laundry center in any condo unit, so they don't have to go into a dark and gloomy basement or whatever the perception might be. They want to do this from the comfort of their home and literally wash their clothes and be able to go back and forth while still working on the computer. A lot of people are working from home, and this is just a very convenient thing to have. But this is sort of the style we like to build. And then see the floor down there? I don't know if you can see it, but there is that's tile. That's not hardwood. And there's a little space in there. Around one of the tiles is about 24 inches. The tile sits right on top of the drain, so you can't even see the drain. So you literally can pour the water onto the floor and just let it run for months. It'll never go to the unit below it. And there's like a little small curve there, about like 2 inches, but it's going down the drain faster than the rate that it can overflow at full velocity. So these are kind of things we like to build in, and it just makes things a lot better for the consumer who's looking to invest in something. And these are the kind of things you want to point out because they're not getting it anywhere else. So this would be a huge feature, and it doesn't cost much to add these things. And again, another thing you can do is you can purchase these front loader units. You buy 20 of them. You buy them for like 5 units at a time. So you'll have 10 units at one time. And you can bring that cost down by like 40, 50%. If you got, we build these here in Michigan, right? Whirlpool, Maytag, and KitchenAid. So we have relationships with them, and we have friends that work for these companies doing engineering. We say, hey, give me 10 of these. I'll send a truck to pick it up. And they'll run out to Bednar to grab it, turn around, bring it back. And if we're doing stuff, we'll work with you on all this stuff. And again, everything is subject to supply chain and everything else. So we'll talk about all that. Okay. Anything you want to add, Jim?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So you've seen fireplaces and all these properties. A modern touch, which it would probably cost us about $7-8 grand total to build one. It'll be the wall. We would parge it with concrete. This is a linear fireplace that's dual-sided. So if you have an area that's like a living room area that looks straight into the kitchen, on the opposite side, you can have like a sitting room. But basically, to the left and right, there's like 4 feet of space so that you can walk around this to the right or walk around to the left and be in the sitting room area. And then you'll have chairs set up with a throw rug, and people can sit back and drink fine Chablis and pontificate on how great they are. It's wine collection. But yeah, the fireplace, being able to see through it kind of is a really nice touch. And of course, you're going to charge them. That's a $30,000, $40,000 option. And we can say, we're putting it in, or we're not going to put it in. If they want it the regular, they can. But these are many ways you can pick up extra money in your development. And to me, I would just charge everybody the same high price and just make it standard so people think of this property as such. So when you do your next project, people aren't going to look at you like you're the nickel and dime king. They're going to look at you like, this guy knows what he's doing. That's all they're going to say. And by the way, people aren't that creative, so they need your ideas. And so when you do this stuff, it's just a factor of, do you have the funds to, put these projects together? All right, so just from date of acquisition to the date of completion, we should be somewhere there about 9 months. So less than a year. We'll be pulling permits. We'll be doing demo. We'll be going through all the steps, and so we're going to be averaging. You consider the roofing is kind of going to be shared between all the units, the cost, the windows, waterproofing, putting in the correcting the drain tiles in the basement lower level, putting in French drains with pumps. And, you always do backup pumps, and you got to have some sort of energy source that's separate from the grid just in case there's a storm. Because it's amazing how, we have sump pumps. Sure. And as soon as the power goes out, that's usually the time of the storms, and you don't want to get caught in one of those scenarios. So we use battery backup systems, and we put them in redundancy, and we let one battery work both. If there's two batteries, both batteries will be enough to work both pumps. One battery can work pump A and B, the other battery can work pump A and B. And then if one battery fails, the other battery's there, and it'll automatically switch to the other battery. So we got a fair amount of carpentry. We got to lay out the rooms. It's going to be roughly about $85,000 a unit for all the stuff that needs to be done. Hard floors, hard paint, windows, the whole nine, and we'll talk a little more about that later. But this $425 will be your rehab restoration price all in.
Yes, locally.
Locally, okay. Property. You're familiar with the Zero plant, the $3.8 billion plant that's being retrofitted and built right now? They're almost
No.
General Motors. You can go on Google and Google General Motors Zero plant. They're building platforms already for EV manufacturers around the globe. And so they're doing a lot of stuff for Tesla. They're doing stuff for Porsche. They're doing stuff for Nissan. So General Motors is making components for other companies. This is the business that this was considered sacrilegious just a few years ago. But they figured out they have a way of doing this and Germans doing it in Germany. And so kind of, if you could say, beating them at their own game. That's what we're working towards. Idea, but they think they're going to be able to do like $10 billion a year with this business alone. Aside from the fact they're going to electrify all the cars by like 2032 or something. All their vehicles will be electrified. Nothing combustion, anything, not diesel, nothing. All right. But anyway, that's a quarter of a mile from where this property is. This is East Grand Boulevard. Are you familiar with the celebrity? Her name is Nicole Curtis. She's on Home and Garden Talk.
No.
She has a show called Rehab Addict. It was one of the
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it was the top show on Home Improvement show, and after her was the Property Brothers. And somebody told me the Property Brothers were several hundred million each. And every time I see her, she pretends like she's broke, which is a lie. Yes, she's got hundreds of properties from Minnesota to Detroit, and she takes old houses and restores them. And some of the work is good, some of it is not so good. And we talk on a regular basis, and she's a real cutie pie. She's really not. And when you come, I'll introduce you to her. We can see if there's any synergy with the group and her. But she's always got stuff that's working on it. Maybe get you on television if you like that kind of roots. Because I don't want to feel like I owe them anything. All right, so this property here, if you go on Google, you should be able to see that this property, 3 houses down, this is 4 bedrooms, right? And with 4 units with 2 baths. 1.5 bath unit is what we're planning on correcting it to. So we're going to retrofit and add a half bath. Or we're changing the floor plan layouts here to be a more modern style. And a lot of stuff we talked about, fireplace, we're going to make all that stuff standard in there. Jim can talk to you about this property, what it will take to put a deal together. But we're getting ready to start putting a roof on it and gutting it out. But we've taken all the trees down that were in the way. We took down over 50 trees. And we removed a lot of debris. So it's all square, ready to go. All we gotta do is get it out and get to work, get the roof off it. This is just a rendering of what we expect it to look like, with some copper gutters and some cottage-style windows, modern windows, and walkway, rebuild the porch, and do some other cool stuff with it. Landscaping, and we're planning on putting a wrought iron fence there as well. We had the #1 condo agent in Michigan come assess the building. We did a walkthrough, and he told me based upon my designs, he thought we could get $350 a unit. So you could do the math, what that would be. We think the other property, there's more things to do here, yet there's less things to do here. This is a picture of what it looks like currently. And this is just one of the views looking to the southeast. And so you can see how long the building is. We actually are going to be using the basement as part of the livable square feet, and we're going to be using the attic just like the other property. We're going to put some nice windows in here. And I would prefer to put in wood windows, but again, there's a economic with it. Doesn't make sense at times. If you look 3 houses down, the third house was just renovated, and it sold a year and a half ago for $439,000. And this one here is a lot bigger, and it comes with an extra lot. So that makes it very attractive, and there's a lot of stuff we can do with this property. You can see the Bobcat. We had to remove like 37,000 pounds worth of debris that was illegally dumped there, and all that got taken care of. So the property's at square, ready to start the renovation process. So this is something we could turn around. Again, we'd be looking at about 9 months start to finish, and some really cool stuff. Again, we separate utilities. We're going to give you a separate meter bank. It's just 4 units in general, and you're going to do condos. How many meters do we need? Well, you said we have 4 units. How many meters do we need for separate utilities? 4. Well, we would need 5. The 5th one is for all the common areas. If you only have 4 units, whose electricity is paying for the hallway? Who's paying for the heat in the common areas? Right? So this is kind of some of the stuff that we got to think about, talk about. We're going to put just one vent for supply, and we're going to put common return air for all the systems separate, and the heating units or the furnaces with AC and everything are going to go in each of the units, and then the condenser units are going to go out back. We're going to create a rack system and put them on that rack where it's elevated above the ground, and then we're going to decorate it. You won't even know that they're in there. It'll look like it's for another purpose. And so everybody will be responsible for their heat going in the hallway, keep the hallway cool or warm, depending on what season it is. For rehab here, and the reason why it's considerably less than the other ones because the units have been pretty much already defined. We just now have to just do the layout for the interior units for the space. We're going to make it a more modern open field, if you will. And so, yeah, but we're still at roughly around 9 months. On each of my projects, I assign a project manager. One project manager might manage 3 or 4 projects simultaneously, not anymore. And that person knows everything about construction, but it's just a system so that I'm not inundated with conversations unnecessarily with crew members that I don't need to be talking to on a daily basis. We have daily safety meetings, and all of this is to make sure that everything is getting done according to what the plan is. They know what all the renderings are. We do floor plans, we do electrical plans, we do foundation plan, we do plumbing plans, all these plans, the finish, carpentry work, and then we have different trades that come in. We lay everything out on project so they see the schedule and they know if they don't get stuff done, they're throwing the schedule off. We then have a check balance system where we go back to them, and so if everybody stays on course, they make a certain amount plus a bonus. But if we have to go back and see their what they have was problematic, then we're taking money away. And this is the only way you encourage people to do their best and as fast as possible. If you don't have a system as such, they'll just be taking your money and they'll milk out something just to keep making money doing nothing. And so, unfortunately, somebody's got to manage this stuff, and that's been pretty much my job to make sure all of that is good. Let me see. Let's quit this. Okay, all right, sorry about that. All right, this property here is at the corner of Woodward and Edmond. See this property right here? This big church? This is actually an ecumenical seminary. They teach about different religions and stuff. Right there is Mike Ilitch School of Business, Wayne State University. Okay, and right next door to that is LCA. That's where the Red Wings play and the Pistons play. All right, and let's go a little further up. These condos, when they first started building them, were only going to be $99,000, and then in the end, they were like $600,000-$700,000. It was ridiculous how they go through that process and get people excited, and then only to pull the plug on them and just raise the price. I just feel it's just dishonest, but call it what you want. Okay, so Google has their Midwest headquarters here in the back portion of LCA. And have you been inside of LCA before?
No, we wanted to go when we were there this past weekend. We just didn't get a chance. I mean, the place I stayed in was right up the street from this, so I know exactly where this is and what's going on.
Okay, so the M1 rail line is on both sides of the street. They're getting ready to extend it all the way up to Pontiac. So that's what they're working on right now. And so, they got to connect the suburbs and the city. There's been a lot of silly stuff that has happened in Detroit's history. We won't go into all of that right now because that would be an unwarranted history lesson. But I just wanted to kind of mention that some of the stuff they're trying to correct right now is for good reasons. And here's the other side of the rail on the opposite side of the street. And those cars are trying to run into us. So, see this church right there? This has already been torn down. See this building right here? Well, watch when I pull up here. It's gone. So I don't know why they don't stitch in the old. But this property right here is some very, very expensive property right now. And so everybody's competing, and I think Dan Gilbert's end up with it by default. Okay, so this is 65 Edmond right here. Right? And the property line is basically slightly wider than the width of the property. And so that has to be taken into consideration with any development plans. But if you really want to do something, and I got some good ideas that I inherited from some people from Chicago, and they're going to be they want to bring Pinkberry to Detroit. They build facilities all around the country, and they brought their architect from Chicago, and they wanted to put a food court in here. So it would be a really beautiful food court, and they were going to come off the roof and other stuff. And I can't really share their plans with you, but I got them on this computer. I'm really tempted just to show it to you, but I'm not going to do it because I want to, you got to have, people have to trust, you know what I mean? Right. So, but anyway, imagine the food court being here. You got, just straight down here, you got Red Wings, Little Caesars. When it's parking time, people are parking up and down all these streets during game time. And people are walking up and down the street for Tiger. The bikers are straight over here. If you go like 3-4 blocks this way, and then over here is the Lions. So this whole strip, these are condos, pretty much condos all over. This is my property right here. It's just sitting, and if you were to lay this out in such a way, we could make a really, really beautiful place where you could have like a dozen, you could have like different type of smaller footprint restaurants where the restaurants don't have any seating. All the seating is shared with everybody, except for the lounge and the bar that you're going to put in there. The bar will have its area where you can sit at the bar, but you'll be able to take drinks anywhere in the entire facility. I'm going to tell you something that really would go good, because we got wine connoisseurs. We need to make a wine bar in here. We don't even need to have we don't even need to do the food part. We can just do wine and sell certain simple Italian dishes and maybe a few other things. And that wine bar would just make, you just, at the front of the building, you just show wine bottles up in here. Just cut this opening, make it glass with some, stainless steel and aluminum. And we really could do a bang up place, but I was just thinking about Jim, because he's a wine guy. This would be a really cool place to do that. And it would be a destination. So, you're not into wine, so it's okay. Neither am I anymore. Alright? So, right over here, this is City Modern to the right. And this guy here is an engineer who apparently did very well, where he's can invest millions of dollars into his projects. But he came late to buy this building and overspent, my understanding is. But I think he sold all the condos out already. I think the condos were sold here. And then I gave Jim some comps of what the condos were going for, and what were extraordinarily large amounts of money. And all the condos were sold here. And then more condos being built. And let's see, this was built quite a while ago, but it was one of the first projects to be done. That's the Renaissance Center. To the left is Ford Field, like about, you go right by, say, like quarter mile Hyper Stadium, right? And so this is a new project that just started kind of recently. It's weird, Google have new stuff in here, but they haven't updated stuff that's old. So this place here, our new condos, a guy that went to Harvard developed this, and these are all sold out. So this building here, I think, sold for like 1.8, maybe like 3-4 years ago. But I don't even know what they're going to do with it. And this place right here is a vegan eatery. It's got chili mustard and onions, and you can read about them, but they have their own vegan recipes for making hot dogs and hamburgers that are vegan. And a friend bought me a hamburger one day, and I don't eat a lot of beef, and I've been into it. I was like, okay, cheeseburger, what am I supposed to be excited about? And she was laughing. I said, what's so funny? And she was like, I was like, I'm not really into beef. And she says, well, neither are these people either. There's no meat in here anywhere. I was like, what? So it was pretty crazy. But they're, okay, so they've been doing this one here. They renovated all of these. This is new, I think. This is new. So they're mixing in some old stuff with some new stuff. And it's amazing people are here from all over buying up these properties. But I think this one here went for like $3 million. This property here. Let's see. There was a time where no houses in Detroit, period, were selling over like $500-600 grand. And now the stuff that's over $1 million is the stuff that sells the fastest. It's weird, it stopped going. A couple more things.
And can you explain how we would? Yeah.
Whole Foods is right here, and this is Saxy. They're a developer. They're one of the ones that want to buy the property. And this is the Ellington, and this building here is all the condo units are named after jazz greats. And this is the medical center, of course, you know that. And then let me show you some friends developed these. See these condos here? These are like stacked condos, and they were going for like $850 a pop. And the developer last time I told him, he said he was a year too early, he'd be selling those for $1.5 million each. I said, well, buy them back, put them on the market. He's like, oh, that nobody will sell. Everybody's hanging onto their properties. So there's a lot of new development going on. All right, Jim, you were saying?
Yeah, with the building itself, if you can kind of explain how we would lay out and what we do with the building of condos.
Yeah, Brandon, are you interested in business opportunities with real estate, or are you interested in residential real estate? It's easy to miss the blessing here because you're going to make way more money. You know, when you make condos, you cash out and it's over. It's like doing a flip. But when you build a food court, a good restaurant is going to pay $20,000 a month for good space in an area where they have a captive market. All right. Before and after the games, there's times where there's 3 games going on downtown simultaneously, professional sports games. And now we have a professional soccer team here. It's going to be really, really crazy. All the people buying here need a place to go. You turn that into a food court, wine bar, or whatever you want to do, you'll be racking up to 40, 50, 60, 70 grand a month. No way to lose. I wouldn't be thinking about any condos. But again, that's we can do the condos, and it's not even academic. In my opinion, it's not even close to being creative. You do a food court, you're going to be the hero. And all the focus is going to be on what you did rather than another condo. Oh, me too. But if you want to do condos, you've got the building out the inside, put steel decks in, you build your condo units. Not all that dissimilar from new construction, except we got to brace the walls and so on and so forth. But that's what I would like for you to think about. The food court stuff, but there's other stuff you can do as well. You can even put offices in there. I mean, but the office thing just isn't as big as, I would say, food court. Food, you're just never going to lose with that. People are always it's hard to buy food off the internet and have it delivered to you, right? Unless it's DoorDash. Which you can do that too with the food court and have all the stuff delivered. Anyway, these are new city modern, some of the other ones that they built. And the same people bought these and renovated them. And then they're going down this street. And then I think they did a deal already with the Brewsters. I think Dan Gilbert got that too. But the ones with this up on the top of these buildings, these are actually penthouses. And so they're multi-level with the garages and modern kitchens and built-in everything. And they're really nice on the inside. So I kind of feel stupid for not having bought like a few when I had an opportunity at the low price. Now at the new price, I'm not even interested. But I should have got in. But when they were first planning to build it, I got discouraged from a girlfriend. And I never should have been listening. An ex-girlfriend, I should say. I never should have been listening to her anyway, because she never knows anything. She can't see the future. So listening to her was just kind of silly.
Well, the other aspect of the building is we can add 2 stories onto it also.
Oh yeah. If we want to go up, we can go up. Another thing we can do is just tear the whole thing down, raise it, and just build one of those robotic parking lifts where each lift will hold 5 to 10 cars. You dig down 5 stories, and then the rack and the cars just go up and down in this rack. So when somebody comes, they just come get their car, and you just have either you have an attendant or you let them park their own car in the rack. And the rack, when the next car pulls up, it just senses the car there ready to go, and it'll just move the cars down or up accordingly. And you just drive into this little open slot, it just lifts the cars up and push them down to the ground. But during the game, it's $50 a car. If you can park like 50 to 100 cars by getting racked up, accordingly, you're going to do really well. You make a whole lot more money than doing condos. Condos is cool, but it's just, you're limited. You're going to upfront a lot of money, and then once you make your money after selling them all, you just get maintenance money off it, but it almost feels like you're taking advantage of the people that already spent their good money. But everybody's going to pay because there's just going to be so many cars, and you're going to have to, keep pace with all that. What was I going to show you? Okay, yeah, so again, this is how close we are. I'm going to let that happen again. those two that were sold. That was Crosswind, got it, built thousands of houses out in Vegas and in Arizona. Bernie Lieberman. So this is Tigers, and then that's Warfield. So you see the close proximity makes it very appealing for those purposes. And here I go. All right, I didn't know I could do that. Interesting. And then we got more parking here to accommodate the Tigers and the Lions. But whoever produces parking is going to be solving a problem, and then when they come, they come. They're going to spend the money, and they don't. I discovered people don't even haggle with prices for parking. And some people would rather have their car towed. And this is Ford Field to the left of Tigers. See it right across the street from one of them. And then that's the Renaissance Center, GM's headquarters. And they moved this restaurant off of Woodward to relocate it here. Because they needed it to build Tiger Stadium. And this music hall. This was, I don't know if you know, but this was Tyler Perry's first show outside of Atlanta. Was right in here. Remember Tyler Perry was doing those shows, Brandon, back in the day? And nobody knew who Tyler Perry was. I think it was called Beauty Shop or something. I don't even remember what it was called. It was called Beauty Shop? Is that what it was called?
I think that was. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. I just know he had some washed out artists in there, actors and some musicians and stuff. I don't know. I was never interested in that, any of that stuff, but it's all good. He certainly has made it. I've been out to his new studio. I was there for the free grand opening before he had the sound stages completed out there. That was about 5-6 years ago. Maybe 2012. Yeah, but now he's a billionaire. I'm making Medea movies. I'm not a Medea fan, so you are. It's okay. This is Motor City Casino. This is the hotel. This is the parking structure for it. And they realized the structure needed to be bigger than what it is, and they're actually contemplating tearing it down to build a new one. How do you spend $30-40 million on a parking structure just to tear it down to build another one? You've got to be making some money with your casino if that's happening. See this building right here, Jim?
Yeah.
Okay. I made an offer to buy this building. They accepted my offer. And then there was a problem. The parking lot that goes with it wasn't going with it. And I should have closed the building anyway. The person who ended up buying it got it for $300,000 less than I offered. And then they just gave them the parking lot. Wayne State just gave them the parking lot. Gave it to them. So that's how stuff happens. Just, you're not paying attention. And I should have tied it up anyway just because of what was happening over here. But I should have not offered so much. But I think I helped her to get the deal. Lady got it. This whole thing right here is a brand new development. I couldn't tell you the name of it, but if you just Google Brevard Street Development, right, it'll pop up. And it's almost done now, but they're putting condos in there. And these are glass house. Jim, these are like really nice California style condos in here.
Uh-huh.
You ever been in a glass house, Brendan? No. Oh yeah, there's some really beautiful, like some famous people have lived in. A lot of Motown people, but this goes all the way back. These are built like in the early 70s. Yeah, but they're real nice. My dad was a medical doctor here. This was the Lafayette Clinic. We had a governor who shut down the public health system for Detroit, for Michigan, and he subsequently closed all the mental health facilities in the country. And yeah, so these right here, I understand some developer bought these. He's going to tear all of these down to build condos starting like $2.5 million. And the people here are like, well, you can't just pull it out of our. Well, yes, I can. Money trumps everything. It's unfortunate, isn't it? It's a damn shame, Brent. All right. No use getting mad at you're not going to win. Okay, this is Jefferson right here. That's the Renaissance Center right there. I'm just giving you a quick little tour because I'm basically done with this. I just wanted you to see how everything interconnects. This is the Rivertown Market. Looks like this is an old picture of it. the billionaire family, the Myers from Detroit, from Grand Rapids, they own the Myers location. They're in about 15, 20 states now. But this is their Rivertown market, and this is their answer to the Meyer up here. This is the first one they built. This was a test model, and it's so successful. There's times where I've been there like 8 times, and I've only been in there once because there were lines of people to get in. It's just kind of so. Did you get inside of there, Brandon?
No, I haven't. I've never seen it.
Oh, you never seen it?
No.
Okay, yeah. When you come back,
so it's like a Whole Foods.
It's Whole Foods, but on steroids. Just way more really nice. Oh, yeah, I know. I wanted to show you. We gotta go down Orleans Street. Let's see. Okay, so this area is called Corktown. All of these places are new, and it's just a whole area. There's like thousands of new units they put down here, and all this is brand new. It's a whole new area. I didn't show you this beforehand about you. I thought I had showed you, but I guess I didn't. Okay, so they got all these new units here, and that's the Renaissance Center, so we can use that as a reference point. But yeah, it's real cool what they did with this, and so there was a waiting list for people. So they have apartments in here, and they sold only